Hi guys, Alex Taylor down at Living Golf Academy, and today I'm going to be testing the new Titleist Ts4 driver. Right then, so Ts4, one of two new drivers, Ts1 and Ts4 have been introduced to sit alongside 2 and 3. Now, it's kind of a little bit of commotion that Titleist introducing new drivers midway through the product cycle. But I have done another video when I'm talking about my opinion on this, and I think it's just to give more offering for guys. Guys at Titleist aren't saying that you need to necessarily change from Ts3 to Ts4. It's going to be an offering. So when we look at the club head, we can see when we look at the bottom, we can see the weight is very, very near the face. So we know that this is going to try and keep the spin down. You know, it's still very, very clean looking. You know, not loads of tech on the bottom of the golf club. As we look on top, you know, very, very clean, that traditional Titleist look. Certainly when you look at the clubs side by side, it looks a lot smaller. It's at 430 cc, but it does look a lot smaller than the Ts3. We've still got the adjustability around the hosel, which is really, really good. Certainly in fittings, that's where that becomes important. So guys, I'm going to hit 5 shots with Ts4, set up correctly for me, and we're going to see, is the more compact head, the low spin, does it really make a big difference? You know, if it does, is it something that I'd consider changing from my Ts3? And being honest, that is going to have to perform phenomenally well to get me to change, because my worry with it is the weight being up near the front is going to make it a little less forgiving, and then those slight off-centre strikes, we might see a bit of a drop-off in ball speed. Right then guys, so as ever, we're going to hit real golf balls, Titleist Pro V1X on TrackMan, normalised mode, Titleist Ts4, 9.5, hazardous smoke 6.5. So my normal shaft for my Ts3 in the Ts4 head. Right, certainly when it's in behind the golf ball, it does look a lot smaller. And certainly when you look at them side by side, you can see Ts4 looks a lot smaller than Ts3. Now, to be honest, I don't actually dislike that, having grown up with very small driver. You know, this still looks a decent size, but for me, it's all about performance. So let's hit some shots, see how Ts4 performs. So felt very, very solid. Nice little shape, little draw. And as ever, I'm going to hit a few, and we'll kind of look at some numbers as we go along. So let's maybe just get a few numbers up at the bottom there for us. So see, first one, 263 carry and just under 300 total. So good start. Now that one felt just a tiny bit towards the toe. Very accurate again. 264, 297, so very, very consistent on distance. Probably back a little bit, and it'd be interesting swing speed. I'm maybe just a little bit stiff today from the gym, so I might not get my club head speed quite where I normally would be, but it's still going to be a good test. I'd still expect to be around about where I was when I was fitted for my Ts3. A bit of a pulley one. Again, felt good solid strike. And certainly distance is very, very consistent. Now, I think where this potentially is a good driver is if you're a good ball striker and you use the middle of the club face consistently, the weight being up at the front will help. I think any that are a little off-centre though, that's where we'll see that drop-off in performance. And it's not aimed at that guy who maybe mishits side to side. It's maybe a bit more aimed at the guy who's kind of bottom to top but still centred with strike. But let's go another couple. That certainly felt a little bit more low off the face. Again, very, very consistent. And let's go one last one with Ts4. Let's try and give this one a a real rip. Let's see if we can get one past 300. Now again, definitely felt a bit low on the club face. Drifting a touch on the breeze, but as it normalises, I think that'll be a little bit straighter. Yeah, so again, a little bit down on performance. Right, so definitely for me there, we'll have a look at strike anyway through the shots, but look at how the low spinning option, the Ts4 from Titleist, is performing. So we can see definitely there, if we look at the average first off, so we can see generally speaking there, my strike was a little bit low on the club face and my club head speed was down a few mile an hour as I suspected it would be. Now that's obviously going to result in ball speed being very slightly back on where I would normally be. But if we run through the shots individually, we can see generally speaking all the strikes slightly low on the face, which would tend to make the spin jump up a little bit. But what we've actually seen there, the last one particularly was very low strike, but at 3,000 spins, still not awful, but it's about that average performance. So we can see there, carry 262, carry total 291. So when we're looking at that, we can see that my maximum carry for my club head speed should be 267 and 293. So it's actually performing really, really well for me. And we can see everything lines up as perfect. The big thing then for me is if I can really get that strike a bit more solid, a little bit higher up the club face. So that one was a little nearer the centre, the first one, and we can actually see at 1300 kind of spin too low for me. So as good as Ts4 is, maybe not quite the right option for me. Right guys, so we looked at the numbers there, and to be fair, pretty impressive numbers, bearing in mind I've not swung quite as quickly today as I can normally do. My own fault, overdid it in the gym yesterday and just can't get fully loose today. But all in all, even though the strikes were a little low on the face, I was very optimum with my spin. Now my worry would be the higher up the face I get, that the spin's going to drop off too much, cost me a bit of carry and maybe make me struggle a little bit more with accuracy. So I think for the guy, and I said when I was hitting the shots, I think for the guy whose mishit is pretty central but top to bottom, I think this is going to be a great offering. For the guy who's more side to side with the strike, I think that's where Ts3 will still perform. And Ts4 isn't a replacement for Ts3, it's just a very different offering. So guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, like and share it, comment below, I'll get back to as many of you as I can. If you've enjoyed today's video and you don't currently subscribe, please click the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, make sure you get my videos as soon as they land. Follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Ali Taylor Golf. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here soon. Stay in contact.